But hello everyone. It's a horrible spring day today. But it sort of reminds me of this weekend, because this weekend I went to the European Gymkhana competition, which took place in the Netherlands once again this year. Yeah, it was a 2-day event, and thank you, sir. While on Saturday we had fantastic weather, it was like really sunny and really warm. The day after we were plagued with just thunderstorms basically. It started off pretty good, having some pretty good weather when we arrived, but unfortunately during the first heat it quickly devolved into rain pissing down, similar to what we've got here today. Now, I'll talk about the results in a moment. Let's just first talk it through the heats, because unfortunately I didn't record all that much footage. I was just so busy in the event, trying to train, and just wanting to be part of it instead of recording everything, that I didn't end up recording a lot, except for my 2 runs in the on the competition day itself. So the first run that took place for me in changing conditions. So it was still dry. God damn it. It was still dry, but it was starting to spit a little bit, so it wasn't exactly, completely dry. It was just starting to get a little bit slippery, but not all that bad. Unfortunately, I ended up making a stupid mistake in terms of navigation. I got lost basically, and that ended up costing me quite dearly, since there would be no opportunity for me to make up for that in my second run. So let's just show the footage of the first run then. So, speed in the first run was sort of okay, and I reckon in that navigation error I made, I lost about 3 seconds. Now, if you look at the timing, that would have put me on par with some of the riders I was expecting to compete with. But that mistake would end up costing me quite dearly, since in the second run there would be no opportunity to make up for it, because the rain started pissing down right during the second run, or rather because the rain started pissing down during the first run actually. So I was quite lucky, but a few minutes after I did my my run, it started just pissing down with rain incredibly.
32 years old, is ambitious for rubbish, always on a CD6 ride at Hornets. Come on,
that second run wasn't all that bad considering the conditions. There's a lot of room for improvement. I could and I probably should have gone a lot faster in some areas. Oh shit. Yeah, I was a bit cautious. I should have been more aggressive because at that point I had already set my fastest time and I actually didn't have anything to lose. But I ended up still being a little bit cautious because at some points I could actually feel the front getting away from me when I was at lean angle, so that just sort of nibbles away at the confidence there. But yeah, as in terms of results, my fastest time was a 2:11, which I reckon I could have done a 2:8 if I hadn't made that mistake. And my wet time was 2:14. Now, if you look at the other guys, 7 seconds is about what you'd lose in the wet conditions on that track. So that's not that bad, actually. It was actually looking like we would have a Belgian European Championship for most of the time, because our Belgian friend had set his time during the dry conditions, and he'd set down a really good time. But unfortunately, all the faster riders, the usual suspects, let's call them, when they started doing their runs, it was already raining like this. So we didn't really get a fair fight in that sense. But even so, Christian Eckhoff, the current defending European champion, went out in the wet and he set down a whopper of a time. It's just, he blew everyone away by setting a time that was a couple tenths, I believe, up to maybe a second faster than what our Belgian compatriot had done. And we were all completely blown away by that, because that was that's a pretty significant achievement. So well done, and congratulations to Christian Eckhoff, the consecutive European champion for Moto Gymkhana. And we've had a discussion as a group for the next competition, because we've had it in the Netherlands for 2 years, and it's supposed to be a European competition. So probably next year we're going to move to either France or UK. UK seems more likely because they've got the better facilities. But France is definitely on the cards because it's a more central location for people having to come from Czech Republic and Poland and such. In any case, I look very much looking forward to competing with all those guys again and meeting them once again. It's always fun to just sit at the campsite, drinking beer and talking nonsense all day long. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.